Galactus, known as the Devourer of Worlds, is one of the oldest and most powerful entities in the Marvel Universe. He has existed since the birth of the universe itself. Galactus takes the form of a massive humanoid figure that dwarfs planets, typically seen wearing a futuristic purple armor and his iconic helmet. He has been confirmed to be the main antagonist in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Galactus continuously wanders around the cosmos in search of planets to consume. However, he is not inherently good or evil. Much like a lion must hunt to survive, Galactus must feed on worlds to satisfy his hunger. He is considered a necessary force of balance in the universe, and his absence could potentially trigger catastrophic events that would endanger the entire multiverse. The planets Galactus consumes act as fuel, increasing both his strength and his abilities. His powers include energy production, the creation of force fields, telepathy, telekinesis, and matter manipulation. He can also grant a fraction of his power to chosen individuals known as heralds, giving them access to the power cosmic. These heralds serve him by exploring the universe to find suitable planets for him to consume. Additionally, Galactus has the ability to alter his size at will, from being large enough to hold entire planets in the palm of his hand to reducing himself to the size of a skyscraper. We can only assume what's going to happen with Galactus in the upcoming movie, but my guess is that he will overpower the Fantastic Four and devour their world. That's why we see them escaping in a rocket to the main MCU universe in the Thunderbolt post-credit scene. Celestial. The Celestials are colossal beings with a body that resembles an armor. They existed even before the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself was created. Their race is responsible for the creation of all life across the cosmos, by planting seeds of life within planets and observing their evolution. However, they intervene when necessary to ensure the growth of the population of certain planets. An example of that is when the Celestials first created the Deviants to eliminate apex predators, and later, when the Deviants went rogue and started acting like the apex predators, the Celestial designed the Eternals to protect humanity from the Deviants. Despite that, the Celestial obsession with helping population grow doesn't come from their sense of morality. It is part of a larger cosmic plan known as the Emergence. Every few million years, a new Celestial must be born. That happens through an event called the Emergence. For it to occur, a celestial seed must be planted within the planet. This seed gradually absorbs energy from the planet's life forms. Once enough energy is collected, a new celestial emerges, destroying the host planet in the process. The Celestials have shown crazy feats in the MCU. They can travel vast distances through teleportation, manipulate cosmic energy to create stars and light, and obliterate entire planets and civilization in an instant. In the movie Eternals, the birth of the celestial Tiamut is prevented by the Eternals, who defy Ereshkigal to save the Earth. As a result, Ereshkigal, the prime celestial, appears in the sky and takes the remaining Eternals into space. Despite him being enraged with their betrayal, he doesn't immediately destroy the planet and declares that he will judge humanity by examining the Eternals' memories to determine whether the Earth deserves to be spared. Eternity. Eternity is the personification of the universe itself, the embodiment of all existence across time and space. He represents the totality of everything that ever been or will be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Visually, Eternity looks like a humanoid silhouette, wearing a cosmic cloak. His body is made of stars and galaxies, with a faint ghost-like face that is barely visible. Eternity's existence is far beyond mortal understanding and is classified as an abstract entity. He resides at the center of the universe, waiting to fulfill the wish of the first person that reaches him. To reach eternity, you must enter the Temple of Eternity, which is full with statues of other cosmic entities. To open the portal to Eternity's realm, one must channel the Bifrost through his statue, a feat that can only be achieved by a rare few, such as Heimdall, Odin, or Thor. For millions of years, no one had managed to reach him, largely due to how limited access to the Bifrost was. As one of the most powerful beings in existence, Eternity is nearly omnipotent. He can bring anything into existence simply through thought. He has absolute mastery over time, space, and reality on a multiversal scale, and possesses cosmic awareness. In Thor: Love and Thunder, the dying Gore the God Butcher becomes the first being in history to reach eternity. However, rather than wishing for the extinction of all gods, Gore chooses instead to resurrect his daughter. Eternity silently grants him his wish, bringing her back to life. After fulfilling the request, Eternity vanishes, leaving Love in the care of Thor. Dormammu. Dormammu is the ruler of the Dark Dimension, a realm that exists outside of time and beyond the laws of our reality. He manifests as a massive head made entirely of magical energy, with no physical body. He has consumed countless realms and is considered a threat to the entire universe. However, despite his godlike abilities, he can be quite arrogant and overconfident, which can result in him being outsmarted by a clever opponent. Dormammu is arguably the most powerful dark magic user in the MCU. His magical abilities are nearly limitless. He can shoot massive energy blasts, summon tentacles, throw miniature planets, and launch deadly projectiles. His attacks are powerful enough to incinerate even the Sorcerer Supreme in seconds. Most importantly, Dormammu is invulnerable inside the Dark Dimension, making him virtually unbeatable in his own realm. In the movie Doctor Strange, Dormammu attempts to invade Earth with the help of Caecilius, a rogue sorcerer who opens a gateway using forbidden dark magic. Knowing that he was no match for Dormammu, Doctor Strange enters the Dark Dimension and sets a time loop. Each time Dormammu kills Strange, the loop resets, forcing Dormammu to relive the encounter over and over. But since Doctor Strange refused to break the spell and was willing to keep dying repeatedly for all of eternity, Dormammu had no choice but to accept Doctor Strange's bargain. He agreed to leave Earth alone and withdraw his forces from the planet in exchange for being freed from the loop, living tribunal. Other than a brief appearance in the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the TV show Loki, we didn't get to see much of the living tribunal. The Living Tribunal is the cosmic judge of the Marvel multiverse. It existed since the beginning of time to maintain balance between realities and prevent multiversal collapse. If a universe or cosmic being becomes unstable, the Living Tribunal judges them and inflicts punishment, often resulting in the total destruction of that reality or being. He is a massive golden figure with 3 faces. Each face represents a different aspect: necessity, equity, and vengeance, which are the 3 principles the Living Tribunal judgment is based on. In the comics, the Living Tribunal does not act till all 3 faces agree on a judgment. He exists in a place called the Star Chamber, an isolated space beyond all universes that serves as his courtroom, which he passes his multiversal judgment from. In terms of power, the Living Tribunal stands at the top of the Marvel cosmic hierarchy, second only to the one above all, who has yet to appear in the MCU. So it's safe to assume that the Living Tribunal is the strongest cosmic being in the MCU so far. Like many other cosmic entities, he is near omnipotent and can do whatever he wants with his limitless power, whether it's manipulate time or erase entire realities. However, what puts him on top of the other cosmic abstracts is his multiversal authority. His judgment and authority overrules everything, even the cosmic forces and gods of the multiverse. Being too powerful and absurd to be a main villain, the Living Tribunal will probably appear in the MCU, either threatening to destroy the Earth till someone convinces him otherwise, just like Doctor Strange did in the comics, or maybe to explain some cosmic events by sharing his knowledge with other characters. Alliot. Alliot is a massive time monster that looks like a black cloud with a storm inside of it. He was tamed by He Who Remains, who placed him at the end of time to guard his citadel and prevent anyone from reaching him, especially other King variants, since Kings are one of the most powerful characters in the MCU, with some capable of defeating the entire Avengers team. Alliot exists in the void outside of the sacred timeline, which is where timelines and variants are thrown to be erased by him. He acts like a living black hole, devouring everything he touches, and grows even bigger as he absorbs more matter and energy. His power is so absurd that despite the multiverse having an infinite number of branches, He Who Remains still believed that Alliot could be used to dominate all of them, implying that Alliot is capable of consuming the entire multiverse if he was given the chance, a level of destruction that would far surpass anything we saw in the MCU. Even Thanos' snap. In the TV show Loki, Alliot patrolled the void and destroyed anything that entered it. Loki and Sylvie barely managed to go past Alliot by enchanting him for a couple of seconds to access the citadel of He Who Remains, and that wouldn't have been possible without the sacrifice of classic Loki, one of the strongest Loki variants in the multiverse, who used his magic to distract Alliot. Surtur. Surtur is the ruler of Muspelheim, a realm full of giant basilic monsters and demonic soldiers. According to an ancient prophecy, Surtur is destined to bring about Ragnarok and cause the destruction of Asgard, a prophecy that he eventually fulfilled after millennia of waiting. Surtur is a massive fire giant with giant horns and a flaming sword. He might not be as powerful as some of the other beings on this list, but he is still a powerhouse in his own right, being able to go toe-to-toe with beings like Odin. He is able to generate and manipulate massive amounts of heat and fire, and wields a molten energy sword that amplifies his abilities, proving to be a challenge to gods like Thor, even at the weakened state. However, when he has access to the Eternal Flame, he becomes basically unstoppable. The Eternal Flame is the source of Surtur's power. Odin stripped it from him thousands of years ago. Upon reclaiming it, Surtur regained his full size and power, becoming practically immortal and capable of destroying entire realms. At his peak, Surtur can eradicate Asgard with a single swing from his sword. In the movie Thor Ragnarok, Surtur flicks Hulk away without any effort. Not this weakened version, but the same enraged Hulk from the first Avengers movie that took down a giant Leviathan with a single punch. Right after that, Surtur proceeds to overpower Hela, the goddess of death that even Odin was afraid of. He ends up defeating Hela and destroying her along with Asgard, fulfilling his prophecy. The Watcher. The Watchers are an ancient race that observes the multiverse but vows to never interfere. They can be easily recognized by their tall figure that resembles a human with a massive bald head. They all wear a white uniform with a golden chestplate and a blue cloak, and often appears in silhouette while narrating events across the Marvel Universe. The Watchers possess multiversal awareness. They have the ability to witness all timelines and realities simultaneously. They can also travel freely across space, time, and alternate universes. Despite their oath preventing them from interfering, it grants them tremendous cosmic power. So great, in fact, that a single Watcher can overpower the combined might of all 6 Infinity Stones. The Watchers can also share this power with mortals, should the Watcher choose to entrust them with their oath. As a last resort, the Watchers have the ability to erase an individual and all their multiversal variants from existence. In the What If series, the Watcher Uatu observes all the events of the series and narrates them. Although he broke his oath multiple times by interfering with multiversal events, he rarely used his real power, even when he was attacked by Infinity Ultron. However, when the other Watchers threatened to erase Captain Carter and her crew from existence, he decided to stop holding back and shared his oath with the crew, giving them the same level of power as a Watcher. They eventually beat the Watchers, but keep in mind that each individual Watcher is more powerful than Infinity Ultron, a villain who was destroying entire universes.